So, what is Heil, honey, I'm home?
Heil, honey.
Heil, honey.
Heil, honey.
Heil, honey.
Heil, honey.
Hello.
I'm home.
Heil, honey, I'm home is a British sitcom from 1990 that aired on the Galaxy Channel. Thank you, Britain. Thank you. In total, 8 episodes were produced, but only 1 was ever aired. A statement is released at the beginning that attempts to justify this mess. The pilot satirizes typical sitcom tropes, yet it struggles with its own self-awareness. Maybe it's because I'm 30 plus years into the future after this was released, and I have different social and comedic perspectives, but this could have worked better if they went to the extremes. The situation could be funnier if it showed Hitler as this extreme irrational jerk, inserted into the coziness of sitcom living. On the other hand, the humor could have come from the irony of Hitler not really acting like Hitler and just being a normal sitcom husband. The show tries to play it down the middle with minimal success. I think the way they chose to do this could have potential if it weren't for the lackluster comedy and the poor choices. It could have been funnier if Hitler was in hiding after World War II and he was pretending not to be himself.
There I am, Gary, there I am!
Stormed Hitler's bunker, contaminated the crime scene, and eventually shipped Hitler's supposed remains back to Moscow.
The song has a live-action intro, but also a 2D animated intro. The song sounds like they wrote it in their sleep.
Heil, honey.
Heil, honey.
Heil, honey.
Heil, honey.
Heil, honey.
Hello.
I'm home. Gee, it's great to be Top Gun, but it's nothing like the fun that I get when I say Heil, honey, I am home.
This frame in the animated opening really stands out to me. It seems like a weird thing to focus on and then rotate out of. I feel like the shape of it was supposed to be a swastika at first, and they canned it because it would be offensive. Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun live in an apartment in Berlin, which I thought was a weird and kind of funny setup, but it's actually somewhat historically accurate.
Honey, I'm home!
Hitler greets his wife Eva Braun, who is unhappy that Hitler was late for dinner every night that week.
Oh, tonight you were making schnitzel.
Rattle, 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 rattle.
I'm a very, very bad Hitler.
Hitler teases Eva and shows her affection. Eva gives in.
Hey, do you remember the names we used to call each other when we first started dating?
Oh, no. You were Mr. Sausage.
Hitler tells Eva that British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain is coming to visit the next day.
It's the Goldensteins. I don't want those putches to know about Chamberlain. You saw the way they were when the Mussolinis were over here. When I finally get to invade Poland, who'll be the first to know? The Poles? No! Rosa Goldenstein!
We're then introduced to the next-door neighbors, Arnie and Rosa Goldenstein. The Goldensteins are made out to be greedy, loud, and intrusive.
What's the lips? I hate your mother.
What happened to it?
You spent it all.
I am not a Jewish person, and I cannot speak on their behalf. The creator of the show said that a quarter of the cast was Jewish, so he's banking on their credibility. However, the board of directors of British Jews declared that the show was in poor taste. The whole Hitler's annoying neighbors are Jewish thing is pretty low-hanging fruit. It's poorly thought out. They don't discuss the genocide or the fact that the Goldensteins are Jewish ever. It's just this extra uncomfortable layer to it. The show is supposed to take place in 1938 while Hitler is still in power.
Ava, babe, please. I'm the Fuhrer.
The persecution of Jewish people in Germany began in the early 1930s. It's like they wanted the joke included but didn't want to push it too far, so instead you just have this elephant in the room. It's a 90s sitcom meant for general audiences, so they probably couldn't play into the dark humor of it. If they really went for the dark humor and discussed these things, the reason why the Goldensteins haven't been persecuted could be like, their lease hasn't expired yet, or they have dirt on Hitler. They've already been established as eavesdroppers.
Other people get to slouch on the couch. And what do I get? I get the Hitlers hollering and shouting.
They reveal that their awkward niece Ruth is coming to visit.
Give the kid a break, huh? She's 22 years old and she's still not dating.
Hitler tells Ava not to mention Chamberlain's visit to the Goldensteins, since they might ruin it.
Don't tell Rosa Goldenstein.
Hitler leaves and Rosa immediately shows up with her niece Ruth.
Having a good time in Berlin, honey? No, not really. Gonna do some fun things while you're here in Berlin? I don't think so.
Rosa complains about her dull life.
Did Arnie and I disturb you last night?
No, honey.
No, I thought not. We never disturb no one no more.
Ava then tries to sneakily feed her gossip. They play charades so that Ava technically isn't breaking her vow of silence, and Rosa learns that Chamberlain is coming to visit.
Neville Chamberlain! Coming to this apartment!
Don't tell Rosa Goldenstein.
Neville Chamberlain!
Rosa plans to set her niece up with Neville Chamberlain, even though Chamberlain was 70 years old and married, and their niece is only 22. Arnie and Rosa visit the Hitler residence, much to Hitler's surprise.
Hiya, Bob. Is he here yet?
Who?
And he always acting the clown, honey. You seen them all, eh, Shorty?
I think it's kind of funny that Arnie calls Hitler Shorty and talks down to him, even though he's a genocidal dictator. It could play into the joke that the Goldensteins are oblivious of Hitler's crimes against humanity if the script was better. Hitler confronts Ava, who convinces Hitler that she didn't tell them who was coming.
You told her. I said don't tell her. But still, Miss Big Mouth told her.
Adolf, I swear I never told her.
Okay. Okay. That's good. They don't know.
Rosa immediately drops the ball.
You don't know Neville Chamberlain is coming here to Germany?
She knows.
Hitler and Ava talk again.
You wanted to get out that Adolf Hitler insults his neighbors? Now relax! Lighten up!
I thought that line was kind of funny because insulting neighbors was kind of Hitler's thing.
We get the Goldensteins tipsy so they fall asleep. Then we can bundle them back to their apartment. What could be simpler?
The dummy who thought of it.
Joseph Goebbels calls Hitler and tells him he needs to pick up Chamberlain at the airport.
Hi, Hitler here. No, Bob Hitler. Who do you think?
Hitler brings Neville Chamberlain back to the apartment. Chamberlain is made to be bland and posh, and he tells a lot of dry jokes.
Adolf, what would you call a polar bear with 3 balaclavas on?
I don't know, Neville. What do you call a polar bear with 3 balaclavas on?
Anything you like, because it can't hear you.
Oh, no more Neville or I'll burst.
Honestly, I think this portrayal works well. He contrasts Hitler's roughness, and it plays into the history of Chamberlain's incompetence.
Just sign this piece of paper promising you won't invade the rest of Czechoslovakia. Okay. Then Chamberlain returned home victorious, waving his signed piece of paper in the air, declaring crisis to be averted and the continuation of world peace, and we built a statue of Chamberlain in his honor, and every day on the 30th of September we celebrate Chamberlain Day. Hitler's invading the rest of Czechoslovakia. What? He's invading the rest of Czechoslovakia.
Chamberlain meets the Goldensteins and actually gets along with them.
Go for the big one.
Ava convinces Hitler that the neighbors will make him look like a nice, approachable guy.
What could be better than for Chamberlain to see you're just a down-to-earth guy who has fun with his neighbors?
Chamberlain then approaches Hitler to talk about Czechoslovakia.
We all feel that you have been rather a naughty boy. All this Czechoslovakia nonsense, eh?
Oh, come on, Neville. It was just having fun.
Chamberlain essentially presents Hitler with the Munich Pact, declaring peace in our time.
Peace in our time.
Peace in our time.
Hitler hides the document in the icebox.
You invade one little country. Everyone is on your back.
So Adolf Hitler, Eva Braun, their Jewish neighbor, and Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain dance in a conga line. And Rosa shows up with her niece, Ruth.
Grab hold of the Fuhrer butt, okay?
But I came, I saw, I come.
Ruth and Neville hit it off despite their 50-year age gap.
You want a lock of my hair for your wallet?
Oh, well, that seems like a fair swap.
Arnie comes back from the kitchen with some food and the Peace in Our Time document from the icebox.
Adolf, old chap, you weren't trying to hide this, were you?
Me? You don't think I... Oh, come on. I mean, look at me. Look at my outfit. I'm just one of the boys. I'm a real fun guy.
Well, you do have all those tanks and battleships you keep trying to hide.
Yeah, then there's all that talk of invading everywhere. The Rhineland, Sudetenland.
Hitler struggles to kick the Goldensteins out because they think he's playing charades.
Get out!
Wait, he's doing one of his funny routines.
Get out of my apartment!
Hitler proves himself to Chamberlain by signing the document.
You are a very, very naughty little Hitler.
Would a naughty Hitler sign this piece of paper?
Well,
Pen, please. Oh. Now, am I a nice Fuhrer or what?
All right. Let bygones be bygones. But remember, no more naughty little invasion plans, eh?
You're kidding.
Chamberlain leaves satisfied.
You're living with one slick Fuhrer here.
Mr. Sausage.
Coochie.
And that's Heil, Honey, I'm Home. The actors pull off their parts pretty well, but a lot of the scenes kind of drag. There's a lot of underwhelming dry humor to this. It just feels like they weren't sure what they wanted while going into this. Most of the Goldenstein jokes aren't really funny, but they do get some good lines when they butt heads with Hitler. Some of the absurdity was funny, and some jokes were legitimately clever.
Got a plan?
Yeah, we go in there and we punch their heads together!
There have been a lot of comedic and satirical portrayals of Hitler in popular culture. The depiction in this show isn't really bad, just strange. It leaves you wanting more. The vaguely East Coast American accent that they gave him is a weird choice, but I think it's a little funny, and it fits in with the satirization of American sitcoms. Hitler seems restrained in his actions, but since he's a protagonist, I guess they wanted him to still be likable. And that's probably why this show struggles so much. You shouldn't like Hitler.
Oh, I'm sure there must be some fault with our guest. Nobody's perfect.
Not yet.
What?
Shall we dance?
I get some of the historical references in this, but that doesn't mean that they're funny or clever. It just means I'm a dork. Something interesting I noticed was that this episode was released on September 30th of 1990. The episode is based on the Munich Agreement, which took place on September 30th, 1938. I see what y'all did there. If anybody can find the other 7 episodes, please send them to me. I'd happily review them. I want to see Winston Churchill or Joseph Stalin show up and give Hitler a run for his money.
It's great to be back. Heil, honey, I'm home.
My mother is not a monkey.